Hi everyone, I'm going to demonstrate a forward fold for you today. So I'm going to utilize this tree as a support. You can utilize a column, you can utilize a chair or a bench, a countertop, anything that's going to be at a height that's comfortable for you and your body. I like to use something that's vertical because it allows me to adjust myself up or down depending on how I'm feeling in my body. So I'm going to go ahead and set myself up. I'm going to place 1 or 2 fist widths between my feet, second toes straight forward, and I'm going to go ahead and just pull my hips back here, utilizing this tree for a little bit of support. So the main goal and objective here is to come into a position where you feel some lengthening and extension happening in the back side of the body. The main thing that we want to avoid is any sort of rounding here. If I get to a position where I feel a lot of rounding, especially from up high, then I want to raise myself back up to where I can hold a lengthened position into my spine and into the back side of my legs. Now, I feel pretty good here, so I'm going to go ahead and start to lower myself down a little bit more. One thing I want to mention here is we're creating some activation. So I'm imagining my feet trying to pull the floor apart or pull the ground apart as I pull length back, pulling the hips back and reaching them up towards the sky. I'm also thinking and finding a slight inward rotation from my thighs. I'm keeping the weight on the outer blade of my feet, making sure there's no collapse into the arches. And then I'm just finding some nice deep breaths. So I'm breathing into my upper back, neck, shoulders, and just allowing my exhales to release. I'm making sure that my knees aren't locking out or hyperextending. I have a tendency personally, I can go into this hyperextended and locked out position, but this is just going to put a lot of pressure into those knee joints and capsules. So I want to make sure that I'm pulling length out of my musculature and my tissue rather than placing that pressure on my joints. From here, I can lower down a little bit more. I can even find a little bit of pulling back against my support, helping me find more length into my spine. Taking, again, some nice deep breaths. I can shake out the head, allowing it to relax. So I'm feeling that activation and support into the lower half, still pulling that ground apart with my feet, pulling the hips back, reaching up towards the sky, finding that length through the hamstrings, and then allowing my spine to just elongate and decompress here. I can shift my weight side to side if I want to. Taking another deep breath and seeing if I can lower my hands to the floor without any support. Just breathing here. So our goal is to be able to touch our palms to the ground. If this is really difficult for you, then it's something that I encourage you to practice. You can place a little bit of pressure down through the palms if you need to. Another support option would be to utilize some yoga blocks here. You can prop yourself up if you need to and press down. Or you can just lower yourself down. So as I get more into this position, you're going to notice that my spine does start to round, and that's okay. We just don't want that to happen up here. Couple more breaths here. We're going to hold a few seconds longer. You might even start shaking here. That's okay. Pulling ourselves into a little bit more. Inhaling. Exhaling, pulling the ribs towards the hips. But making sure I don't get that pressure transferring to any hip flexor areas. If I do, I can always retreat back up a little bit, making sure I keep that pressure into the glutes and hips, into the back side. I can walk my hands to one side if I want to, opening up any sort of QL tightness, allowing this thigh to spin a little bit open and the opposite one to spin inward. Switching sides. And then slowly just rolling our way back up, one vertebrae at a time. I can use my hands on my legs if I need to for support. And just feeling that musculature pull you all the way back up to standing. So I encourage you to practice this daily. If you can hold that position anywhere from 1 to 5 minutes, it's going to be extremely beneficial and decompressing for the body. Enjoy.